Alright, well hello, my name is SorcererSeige. Before I start, I just want to showcase a little bit of this Brawlers pack for you guys. I'm going to be playing a beat-em-up game, though it's a little bit of a different world than these are set in. But if you guys are interested in this Brawlers pack, it is a $5 donation, and if you donate towards that not bid war, but towards that donation incentive, I will be doing a blindfolded Gildas fight, which is the final boss at the end of the game, which terrifies me, but hopefully I can showcase it for you guys. Alright, so $5 donation for this, and it'll help us get to that donation incentive. That being said, so this is King of Dragons that'll be showing off for you guys today. It is a D&D style fantasy beat-em-up. There are 5 characters you can choose from, which is a joke because we are not going to choose from the 5. We're going to pick the best one, which is the wizard. So it's the elf, the wizard, the fighter, the cleric, and the dwarf. But the wizard has the best damage as well as the best magic damage, which includes both orbs and the extra joy, as they call it in the Capcom world. I think for basics, there's a few more things I want to go over for you guys. The point of the game is we're going to try to get to the King of Dragons, which is Gildas, the final boss. And again, if we hit that donation incentive, I will do it blindfolded. And I mentioned orbs, and orbs are basically extra powerful magic attacks that we can break if we get them in the run. We can get them 3 different ways. They're guaranteed in chests. They can be dropped from monsters, which is the RNG element, and they also can be, when my P equals 0, my player lives gets down to 0 and I die, I'll get an automatic orb then. The only other thing I want to say, there's 4 drop seeds. We call them drop seeds because once I isolate the drop seed, all the chests in the game are going to be set on those drop seeds. So I'm going to know exactly where everything is and what boss is going to drop what. The only thing that can be bad is 2 of the seeds are world record attempts, 2 of them are automatic minute time losses. So I'll shout those out as we see them, and I think with that, we are good to go. So like I said, I'm going to pick the wizard here, and time starts when I click him. So in 3, 2, 1, go! Thank you guys, appreciate it. Alright, so the basic movements are attack, jump, and if you do the X button, it is attack, it is special, which you'll see my magic. I'm also going to be doing some attack jumps in really rapid succession, which will let me advance forward with a jump at the same time attacking the enemy. You just saw one there. Ooh, we got a random orb drop. Those are the RNG components of the run, and I'm actually going to go back and hit one of these to make it a little faster. Alright, so we have a fire orb seed. I will have to go to the next stage because I missed the 3rd chest to tell you if we have a good one. And this is the Orc King, and he's dead. So that's the first boss. Those orbs, as I said, the orbs are completely overpowered with the wizard, and so whenever we get orb luck, my goal is to optimize it by getting it to the best point to take out a lot of enemies. So one of the bad points of the fire orb seed is we get a defense upgrade there instead of a weapon, which means we're just going to end up going slower here. So I do apologize for that. Alright, so you can see so far we've seen orcs, and we have blue ones and we have green ones. The blue ones are just a little bit tougher, and we're on the bad seed. This is actually my least favorite seed of the 4, but that's okay. We'll still try to showcase it. I'm going to let these guys jump over me. Alright, so I'm going to grab this orb. I'm going to skip that chest because there's ice in it, and we're coming up on the Minotaur boss. When this boss gets to half of his health, he is going to do this thing where he breaks the ground, and we drop into this cool little Colosseum background. However, we lose about 5 seconds, so I'm just going to kill him by bouncing him with lightning, and we're just going to skip that whole thing. So he's gone. Alright, so we get a weapon upgrade here. Unfortunately, on the next stage, we're going to continue with defense weapon, and basically we're always going to be 1 weapon down every other stage. So that's the unfortunate part of this seed, but it's okay. So we're going to be climbing up this hill when we get, oh my gosh, another orb. Awesome. So this actually will help me out because the orb that I've got here is not very reliable. We call the meteor orb the joke orb, because it tends to troll us. Alright, we little despawn there, and I'm not sure if it worked. I think it did. Oh, nope, looks like we got a guy there. Alright, so I'm going to grab this fire orb. We're going to try to kill all these guys. Nice, got them all. And if I did it right, I should be able to get this meteor orb to our next boss. I'm going to have to try to trick him to come at me now. Got him. Okay. So that actually let me skip the first phase of him. He has 5 phases, 3 of which are air phases, 2 of which are ground phases. The air phases, I want to get damage to him by jumping and hitting him as quickly as I can. The ground ones, all he can do is shoot fireballs at me. And if you jump pretty easily, it makes it almost impossible for him to hit you. And honestly, jumping is the key to this game. If you ever had trouble with it as a kid, trying to play through it, just stay airbound. Alright, and I also just want to make a little point to you guys. This guy did not skip leg day. So my guess is when he's not killing wizards with his fireballs, he is at the gym pumping iron. He can even pick up the cleric, who can't jump very high than unlike anyone else, he jumps significantly shorter, and he's dead. Because of the cleric's armor, and somehow he's still able to pick him up. And we run.
Can I cut it really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
We have $20 from Arcanet.
Oh my gosh.
Best of luck to Mr. SorcererSeige on Dungeons & Dragons run. This man loves the game. Got married 2 days ago and is here running it for us now. Love you, man.
Thanks, Artonis. Alright, so this is where we start to break away from the other seeds. Because we didn't get a weapon upgrade here, we are unable to kill these slimes when they're on the ground. And so I'm going to have to try to pop them in the air whenever they jump. Or I'm going to have to try to get them to grab me and then shake them to their death. There we go. Alright, that wasn't so bad. So, like I said, since we didn't get a weapon upgrade, we are unable to kill those slimes. That actually worked out for the best. Because there's only 2 characters that can hit the slimes when they're on the ground. That's the dwarf, who sucks in all other ways, because he just has terrible weapon attack, bad damage, bad range. Poor dwarf. Bad height, too. And it's also, the wizard can hit him, but only with his level 3 and 4 weapons, which we are on level 2. This is the Hydra boss. It is our least favorite boss. That is because he can hide, he can basically abuse these iframes that he gets whenever he pulls his head backwards to charge at you. And so a lot of times you have to kind of pop back and forth between the 2 of them, hoping that you can get him when he's vulnerable. Okay, we got him. All right, and that's the Hydra. In the 2-player version of this game, he actually is a lot worse because having the extra sprite just slows everything to a crawl. Also, we have no idea who this guy is. He's got some story, but we never really understand it, so shout out to him. Alright, we're coming up on my least favorite type of enemy. This is the skeletons. You won't see it as much here as long as I play decently. Well, there's a shield block. But they also abuse their iframes a ton. Whenever they attack at me, whenever they jump, and whenever they have their shield out, they're just completely invincible. And at points, you will just see them do nothing but troll me by attacking repeatedly, and I will be able to do nothing. I'm also being cautious of the left side of the screen. There's an orb there that I want to use on these enemies at the end of the stage, which should jump up here now. Great. Ah, I hit one. Ooh. Alright, normally you can get to this frog orb in time, and you're not dealing with them trolling. I had to stall a little bit to hit that orb just to make sure they weren't in iframes, and now I'm going to jump really high and far. Alright, we're coming up on the landing. This basically just has orcs and these birds that can pick you up. If I play the stage right, we shouldn't see much of the birds, and we should be able to get right through them. Alright, so basically I need 3 birds on the screen. Oh, that might have been early. Alright, I think we got Jerkbird. Nope, we didn't. Okay. So if you don't kill 3 birds all together there, then you actually lose a bunch of time waiting for the 3rd one to spawn, and 2 more will spawn along with him. But if you kill 3 all at once, you can skip that entire step. Alright. Coming up on more skeletons here. These ones don't go down in a single hit, so I have to take a little more time with them. Alright, and we're coming up on Minotaur 2. A lot more straightforward than the other one, and hopefully I have a little bit of health to help here. But if you have any donations, feel free to jump in at any point. Alright, so one of the things we like to do is we like to juggle him. But if he's in the air when you do the final blow to him, he'll actually bounce really high when he lands, and then we have to watch him bounce a few more times. Shout out to the Shishis, the Capcom symbol here. They are also what they use for the extra credits. There's 3 in every drop seed. So if you ever had trouble playing through the game and you never found any of those, check out the guide that we have online, courtesy of Dark Alexander, to figure out where all of those are. Makes it a lot easier to get through the whole game. Alright, I'm going to try to do a little despawn trick here with my magic. See if I can get these guys at the despawn plane. If I walk fast enough... Nah, I didn't get any of them. That's alright. If you can keep them off the screen enough, you can actually walk them to the point that they hit the despawn plane, and we can despawn those skeletons, which honestly is so much easier than killing these stupid things. Alright, we got them. Alright, so there's a couple more enemies that we have here at the top, and then we will be on to the Cyclops. The Cyclops enemy has 3 basic attacks. He can punch you from across the screen, or he can grab you and throw you, or he can jump up, he'll grab the ceiling and throw a chunk of it at you. If he does that, I'm going to either jump and dodge it, or I can shoot magic at him to also get away from it. We're going to take advantage of the fact that our weapon has a little bit more vertical movement than his, and if I stand at just the right spot, this is about the right spot. Hey, you stop moving. Let me hit you. If I stand at the right spot, he is unable to hit me, and I should be able to hit him. He is not cooperating. We also get a certain amount of iframes whenever we use our extra joy, and he's dead. So we can use those iframes from the extra joy to basically keep their attacks from doing anything to us. I'm going to continue to try and make that happen, and you'll see a couple bosses where I utilize those iframes just to make sure that I keep my health. Alright, so now you can see we can hit these slimes because we do have the right weapon here. And I lined up on the left side here just so I can hit that slime without popping that chest. There's an orb in that chest that I want to try to save towards the end of this stage. And it's very, very tight to make it happen. Ah, I didn't get the first hit. Alright, so there's the skeletons. You can see them trolling me just a little bit. If you can get the first hit just as they rise, you can actually take them out very fast. That was super clean. Alright, let's take this guy out. Oh my gosh. Alright, so the orb is going to be close. No! Alright, I think we got this. Okay, it looks like we only got 3 of them. It doesn't matter, the meteor orb trolled me anyways. Shout out to the meteor orb. Alright, we're good. So we're coming up on the spider boss. If you ever had trouble with this boss as a kid, the #1 thing I can say is jump. Stay airborne as much as you can, and he actually cannot grab you. They're also very susceptible to magic, so I'm pretty much just going to use magic to take him out the rest of the way here. Alright, and he's dead. So if we were on a good seed, I would actually skip the level 5 weapon. The level 5 weapon does the same damage as my current one. But because we're not on that seed, we actually can just grab this one. And you're welcome, tree. Not a big fan of spiders myself, so I don't blame you for wanting them gone. Alright, so like I said, we normally would skip the weapon on the previous stage, so even though we didn't get a weapon upgrade, we're actually going to be in the same playability, I guess, as we would be on a good seed. Alright, once again, first hit on the skellies, we'll take them out right away. And we're actually coming up on what we call the lizard men. And these guys, whoa, I'm not sure what the wizard did there, turning around. These guys can be super trolly. They can counter your attacks, and they can also just shield and deflect them. It's a little easier with the fire weapon to not take damage, but the fire weapon that we would have gotten on the previous stage does the same amount of damage, but it does it over time, where this one does it all up front, which means we're more likely to get a direct hit and to take these guys out a little bit faster. Alright, we're going to use just a little bit of magic, do some extra damage here. Alright, come on, Skelly. So I'm actually wiggling a little bit up and down whenever I attack these guys. This keeps them from being as likely to counter me with their attacks. And we are now on the Dragon Rider boss, and I know what you're thinking, dragons have wings, but this one didn't have his Red Bull today, so no, he doesn't. There's a rule that I normally do where, because it's really easy to dodge his halberds by jumping a lot, every halberd hit that he does, I normally would do a push-up at the end of the run, But since we're doing donations today, I'm actually going to donate $5 for every halberd hit. So crowd, if you can help me keep track, there's one so far. And we're going to see him a few more times, so don't worry. So $5 so far. See what happens by the end of the run. And if you're watching, feel free to go in on me with that. You'll notice I did grab this power-up. If I skip this power-up, 2 stages later, we would have a very, very, very slow boss fight with that previous weapon. So we're trying to go fast, so we're not going to skip that. Great time for donation.
We have $10 from MonkeyMan1520. It says, "This is for Sorcerer. I got you some turkey for good luck."
Definitely an inside joke there. Thank you, Monkey Man. All right, no halberd hits there. We did get an orb drop. I failed to mention this on the previous stage, but there's these archers that for some reason they have these really high probabilities of dropping orbs. And so they did give me one of the fire orbs. That means I was able to take that boss down very quickly. Normally we can despawn a few of these lizard men, and it looks like we only despawned one. And once again, another dragon rider. So if you have any more donations, now would be another good time. But if not, I can easily talk more. All right, that's 2. We should see one more of those dragon riders. All right, so you saw me shooting fire just barely off the screen there. I'm actually focusing on these lizard men that are hiding. Trying to take them out before they run on. You see the guys with what looked like these giant spears. When I was a kid, my brother and I always called them pencil men, because even though they're spears, they look like your typical Type 2 Ticonderoga. So pencil men, there they are. You'll see some later when we fight the Ice Wyvern that can be really trolly. Oh, we got an orb drop! All right, so that is a random orb, and that's really awesome to see on the ninja. He's really susceptible to magic, so I'm going to trick him into jumping here, please. Thank you. And he's going to take a lot of damage from that. We want the ninja to jump because if he's standing on the ground, he can deflect your attacks, and he will take very little damage from my magic. And that's Black Magic. All right, so because Monkey Man donated, I know he wants me to give a shout out to this guy. This is Jerk Knight walking on the screen. We call him Jerk Knight because he is sending us on a fetch quest to go save Princess Mari, and he says, "Won't you go with me to save her?" And he doesn't go with us. So my theory, he does the typical like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Why don't you start without me and I'll meet you there?" And we never see him again. So hence Jerk Knight. His actual name is Herschel, but he's a jerk, so we're not going to call him that. All right, so we have the mummies. We're really hoping not to hug our mummies today. And we're actually going to do something. We're going to try to despawn them here. Well, all right, they're not cooperating. Nor is this skeleton. Whew, how many times do I have to hit that guy? All right, so if you can get this, the mummies close enough to the edge of the screen, you can actually get them to fly backwards to the despawn plane, and they will actually despawn themselves. Unfortunately, I could not get a single one of them, but we'll see them later on in the run, and maybe we'll get to see that happen. You'll also notice, once again, I'm unable to hit the slime, so I'm going to take them out with magic whenever I see them. All right, this is the Wraith boss. It's pretty straightforward, actually. They can damage you 2 ways. They can either touch you with their bodies, or they can hit you with those weird scythes that they throw. However, once you hit them with your weapon, what's the word I'm thinking of? Basically, their hitboxes become inactive, so they can't damage you, and you can deflect their scythes with your weapon as well. So you'll notice I'm not taking any damage here. It's a pretty straightforward fight and very easy to be completely hitless. All right, final phase, they go faster. Ooh, ah, all right. And they're down. Okay, good. We gained a level, and we gained enough health to be able to kind of cheese these next few enemies. We have a bunch of skeletons we're going to fight, but because I can do magic 3 times, I won't have any trouble with them. Should be super fast. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. They're done. So we're going to have more archers, we're going to have more lizard men. At this point, the lizard men are fairly harmless because my fire attack stays active long enough that they can't really counter it. Actually going to take a hit here in a moment from one of these archers. I'll let this one hit me. just to try to get my health back to full. It's a little easier to take out those lizard men when you don't have to walk back and forth. Alright, so if we had a decent seed, we actually would have an orb guaranteed in that in that chest there on the left side. But we can't get that because it's actually an item now instead of an orb. And that's too bad, because this boss is super susceptible to orb magic. We might get lucky with the second group of archers. If we get an orb drop here, no. If we got an orb drop there, it could have made us luck out, but no dice. Alright. Just going to clean up a few more lizard men, a few more pencil men here. This last one's off the screen, but you can just barely hear it taking damage. And we are on to the Dragonian, also known as Goldar. You can really see it quite well here. He's fairly straightforward. You mostly want to hit him with magic because if you stay in front of him, he'll keep using that shield charge, which abuses iframes. So I'm going to try to manipulate his movement by staying either north or south of him, and that's Goldar. I mean the Dragonian. And we did just save the princess, but unfortunately our dragon's in another castle, so we have to keep going. That's just how it goes. If you kill the Dragonian off the screen even slightly, he will dramatically walk back into the middle of the screen and waste about 5 seconds. And also, if he happens to take flight on the killing stroke, then you end up losing seconds there too. We actually, in one of our co-op world records at 3, one of our co-op world records, we actually had him take flight, and land just off the screen and lost about 10 seconds on that boss. And still managed to get a world record with it. So, whoa, we got orb luck. Okay. So that is a very random orb. We had an archer show up. There's only a few enemies on this level that can give you that. And so we really lucked out having that happen, but I almost popped it right away. I would have been very sad if that was the case. I should be able to get this to the double ninjas here. Oh, come on. All right, this might be tight. No, I don't think it's going to make it. Nope. All right. A couple of the skeletons trolled me there too much for me to make it happen. That is unfortunate because I really don't want to take 2 deaths here. So I'm going to try to be really careful with my health from here on out. We're going to try to set up on the next stage so that I will be able to use an orb on the following. All right, we should be good. All right, so basically I don't want to take a single death on this stage, and I'm a little bit lower on health than I'd like to be. So I'm going to be really cautious with my magic. I have just enough that I should be able to make it to the next stage and then take a death, but I just need to be a little cautious here. I'm just going to hang out. So these imp creatures, there's a certain amount that spawns no matter what. If I needed to take a death, if I had P equals 1 right now, I would actually use magic to take them out, but it slows the game just slightly to do that. Take out that chest before it attacks me. Oh, we don't want that guy going that way. All right. Okay. Like I said, health's a little low, but we should be okay. If this lightning double hits this baby mage, then we should be really, really solid for the next set. Ah, missed. Okay. Sets us up pretty poorly. He can be a huge troll. Yep, there it is. All right. Unfortunately, we won't be able to show off that trick on the next stage. Baby Mage, you really wanted to take both those hits there. Otherwise, if you're low on health, it's just really, really tricky. But that's okay. We need a certain amount of health for the Dark Mage here. I mentioned earlier the iframes on your magic, and for a long time I thought that there was no way to dodge this guy's attack without a shielded character. But actually, if you abuse your iframes that you get from your extra joy, he's unable to hit you. And so he actually became a huge joke when I finally realized that. So it's a pretty straightforward fight. We're pretty much just going to attack. Every time I know he's going to shoot magic at me, I'm going to try to just use this magic and take him out instead. All right. So we're going to fight these troglodyte enemies that you saw me turn to frogs earlier in the game. And if we had an orb, we could take them out instantly with the second group. But because we don't have that death orb, we can't do it. But that's okay. I'm going to show off the juggle instead. It's a trick we used to do with them, but we stopped having to do it once we figured out we can bring an orb to this stage. Whoa! Alright. Alright, so hopefully I don't mess this up. Might be a little tight on the second guy. Good. He jumped right, so we're good. What? Okay, so that's the ice pot. If you just happen to move a little bit up, you'll end up hitting that instead. So we missed the juggle there, but it's okay. Alright, so this is why I despise this seed. Any other seed, you would end up with a lightning staff here, and it is by far the best weapon in the game. It's really, really cool when your character can shoot lightning across the screen. However, we do not have that. So we're going to have to wait till next stage to get it, and that makes everything from this point on quite a bit slower. The fire weapon also creates a lot of lag, and so we're going to lose time there too. The Ice Wyvern is just a recolor of the previous one. The only difference is instead of fireballs on the ground, he's going to shoot these ice balls. Because of that, the ice doesn't do near as much damage as the fire would do. So they put in these green guys that will charge at me super fast. And mostly they're just going to cause a lot of lag and be really annoying. There you can see the game's starting to slow down to a crawl just because of having this extra sprite with my fire weapon. Yeah, well, the Wyvern himself is pretty harmless. Alright, once I kill this guy, he is the last one. No more will spawn because we're on the final phase. Those guys can drop lightning orbs, and so if we do see any of those, it is quite awesome. And at this point, I am going to ask where we are at with the incentive for the blindfolded Gildas fight.
We are good on that blindfolded Gildas
right,
fight.
awesome.
We want to see it.
So we've got one more stage to go, and then hopefully I can showcase that. I do have to make a pit stop here and grab this lightning staff, because I will be very sad if I don't have it. And you guys are about to see why I love this weapon so much. Best range in the game aside from the archers. And again, we have these mummies. We're going to try and knock these guys when they're off the screen. No, I can't seem to get them. They are not giving me any good setups for despawning. That's okay. They only take 4 hits with this weapon. And if you look at the bottom right of the screen, if you're wondering what the Yashishis hide in, they are actually in just your run-of-the-mill chests in the game. So you can see I actually just hit that chest there, and that's where the third and final Yashishi of this game is. I'm going to grab this apple because I don't have enough health to take these guys out, and my lightning weapon can't hit them on the ground. Alright, so now we have the double Cyclops. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to stand between them and just dodge one while attacking the other. Ah. You can use your magic to make those boulders disappear, so whenever I see one flying at me, if I am on the ground, I will try to do that. Because I killed one off screen, most of his treasure that he drops ended up not appearing, and that's actually a good thing because that kept the lag down significantly. Alright, and that is the double ninja. I'm now going to blindfold myself. And I will need complete silence because I need to listen to the sounds of the game to get through this next stage, and I'm going to peek for a second just because I do need to know what my health is. Okay, P equals 336, cool. So we just have to hold right, and I'm just going to listen to this music here. Ooh. Alright, I'm going to start pausing here, and that is just because if he does kill me, and I don't realize that I'm using a credit, I can actually instant lose the whole entire game. So I have to be a little cautious as I take damage to make sure that doesn't happen. Alright. Get a good setup here. There we go. Alright, and there we go. That is the final boss. So, a little bit of trickiness. I know I got turned around once or twice, and we did end up getting to that credit. So if I count down the game, that 10-second timer, if it goes all the way to 0, and time. If I count down that timer to nothing, basically, I automatically have given up on the game, and I get the game over. So it's terrifying if I hit any buttons because they actually make it count down even faster. So if I mash during that segment and don't realize that I'm not doing anything in the game for those 10 seconds, I will insta-lose. It's only happened to me once, but it's really, really terrifying. Other than that, with the amount of credits, it's super straightforward. So that is King of Dragons. I'm going to give a couple shout-outs to people that have really scoped out this game and really helped us get to this point. I want to give a shout out to Dark Alexander, who has made the guides online for this game. Is just a really great guy, as well as Nama. Both of them have scoped out so much of the game and helped us get to the point of where it's at. The world record is a 27:12 but it's taken us forever to get to that point. You've seen a lot of little optimizations, and unfortunately I missed some of them that have helped us reach that. I also want to give some shout outs to the guys here at Next Level for putting on this marathon. The reason why you're giving donations today is because in the past, the store itself, as well as Yellsrec, have taken the brunt of the cost to run this function. And especially because they've had to close the store for this one, they're allowing you guys to help them absorb some of that cost. So if you are able to, and if you are enjoying what you're seeing, please guys, don't be afraid to donate just to help them out with keeping this going. Finally, I want to give one more shout out. It was mentioned by one of the donations that I did get married 2 days ago, and my wife was extremely wonderful. I can actually call her my wife now. Was extremely wonderful in allowing me to be here to run this game, and to delay our honeymoon by another 2 days. So just thank you very much, sweetie. All right, and with that, I guess we will let the credits go, and that is it for King of Dragons. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you are interested in more of the game, please follow if you go to speedruns.com and you click the Discord link, you can join us online, join our Discord server, and come join us and hang out with a really cool group of people and learn more about a great game. All right, thanks, guys.
29:31, by the way.
Ooh, awesome. Sub 30.
We're good? Okay. Back again. Just wanted to jump in real quick since we have a couple things popping up soon. I wanted to get this in first. This is our first main prize here for day one. If you donate $20 total throughout the day one, so cumulatively, you can be entered in to win this Super Retro Trio Plus from Retrobit. So it's a 3-in-1 system. It does Genesis, Super Nintendo, and NES in HD. And it also comes with this Joe and Mac collection cartridge, which is a limited edition blue, exclusive to this bundle. So that's $20 throughout day one for that prize. So, and good job on your run.
Thank you. And I think we said 3 was the amount of Halberd hits. All right, we're going to double that, so I'm going to do $30 today. So guys, if you want to donate also, you can have a chance at winning this today if you donate at least 20. The $30 honeymoon fund.